outside the major towns and cities of Algarve. We're now in Ponta de Piedade. The nearest town from this point is Lagos. Over there you could hear the sound of the waves. It's nice and sunny now, typical Iberian Peninsula weather. If this was in summer, it would have been much more crowded than this. People would have been swimming in the sea. Over there, you can see the lighthouse. Over there, we can see the cliff, and people are going down to that bay. If this was summer, this would have been much more crowded because people would have been swimming in the sea. And over there is the view of the town of Lagos. Over there is a lighthouse. I don't know who built that lighthouse. Over there is also the view of the town. This is Praia do Camilo, which is another beach which is not very far from the one which we visited before. These geological formations goes through a territory with high landscape environmental quality, where it is possible to observe unique geological formations and fauna characteristics of this ecosystem. These staircases are now closed, and this is the evidence. Prohibited zone. You can see the writing here. If you want to go to these staircases, you can't carry your dog unless it's a guide dog. We're entering the Portuguese town of Lagos, and this is not Lagos, which is the largest city in Nigeria, but it's the Portuguese town of Lagos. And over there we could see a sign for the supermarket. Over there we could see a residential area, someone's house. Over there is another residential area. Over there is a pizza restaurant. We're approaching a supermarket called Spar. And this is the supermarket. Over there we could see a shrine of Nossa Senhora de Piedade. And this is the gate to the old city, not old city, old town of Lagos. Over there is an eating establishment, churrasqueria. Over there, I think is, I don't know what this is. And here we are, entering the old town of Lagos. And this is someone's house. And this is access to the streets of the old town. Here we
turn right.
Here we could see the residents' houses. This is typical Iberian Peninsula architecture. This is the main part of the old town of Lagos. This is the church of Santo Antonio, or as they call it, Igreja de Santo Antonio, which is one of the main churches in the town of Lagos. Over there is a jewellery shop. This is the former slave market. Today it's the Museum of Slavery. The Portuguese were interoceanic explorers during the heyday of their empire, which was between the 15th and the 17th century. They conquered many parts of the world, from Africa, Asia and South America, especially Brazil. And they named the city of Lagos in Nigeria after this town. However, the connection is not because of the slave trade. Yet again, I'm in front of Igreja de Santo Antonio, or St. Anthony's Church. This historic church was built during the 18th century, 1707 if I'm not mistaken. This is the cobblestone streets of the town of Lagos. And this museum is a museum about some particular, I don't know who he is, Dr. José Formosinho. We're still in the old town of Lagos, and we're going to see another historic church called Igreja de São Sebastião. And over there we could see the Christmas lights. Because it's already sunset, that's why they have lighted up the Christmas lights. These are the benches These are people's houses. Someone lives here. And over there we could see the historic church of São Sebastião. This is Igreja do São Sebastião, which is one of the historic churches in this town. It was built during the 14th century and it was renovated in the 18th century, or to be more precise, in 1755, after an earthquake devastated many historic buildings in Algarve. These are people's houses. We could see balconies here, Christmas lights. This is a dentist practice center. Over there it's a restaurant, but it's closed. Over there is a fish restaurant. Over there we could see the Thai flag. It's a Thai massage center. And here is a barber shop. We're now exploring the old town of Albufeira, and over there are the houses of the residents, of the inhabitants. Over there is a residential area, and this, what is it? This square is called Praça de Armas or Praça da República, and this is an archaeological remain in Albufeira. Maybe something that was built by the Moors or the Romans, or maybe some civilization before that, whatever it was. This is the music conservatory. Over there is maybe an office of the Red Cross. Over there's a restaurant. And this is a residential area again. This is the old hospital. I just found out that this building is an old hospital, and that office that I found out was part of it. Over there is the Albufeira battery, which is a fortification which was built during the 16th century. Not built, but purportedly built. Over there is a street sign called, and this street is another street. This is a prohibition sign, no entry for motor vehicles. And this is someone's house. Casa do avô. This street sign is Rua da Bateria, and it's this street. And this square has two names. The current name is Praça da República, and the old name is Praça das Armas. This is the Archaeological Museum, and unfortunately any form of photography or filming is prohibited inside. We're still in the old town of Albufeira. Over there we could see a bar, and over there is a supermarket, and this is Igreja de Matriz, which is the historic church, one of the biggest ones in the old town. It was built during the 18th century. And over there we could see the bell tower, and over there is someone's house, and we could see an image of a saint. Over there we could see a satellite dish. It's someone's house yet again. Over there is another historic church called Igreja Santana. And over there is a hotel. We could see the colours of the sunset. The sky is turning orange. And over there we could see the sea. It's the Atlantic Ocean. We're now in the town of Lolé, and we're heading to a historic church which was built on the site of a former mosque. As you know, as you have heard in my previous videos, Portugal was once ruled by an Islamic state, which was the Umayyad state. Then there were petty states called Taifas. Then in the 12th century, the Christians, or in this case the Portuguese kingdom, reconquered this part of Portugal. When I mean Portugal, I mean parts of Portugal, because not all parts were ruled by the Arabs.
Turn right.
And over there we could see the view of the castle. We could see the walls of the castle. Over there we could see the walls of the castle, and over there is the flag of Portugal.
Slight left.
Over there is Santa's Grotto, I think. And this is a sign sign saying Aldea dos Sonhos, which means Village of Dreams. And that's what this Santa's Grotto is called.
Turn left.
Over there is a residential area, and there are people's houses over there. This is someone's house. Yet again, it's someone's house. A water fountain. This building is called the Municipal Market of Lolé. This market was built in 1908, which was 2 years before Portugal became a republic. This market sells meat products, fish, vegan products, and there are also restaurants inside. Let's look at inside. These are pickles, fruits, souvenirs, and there's also jam, fruits and nuts. Most of the kiosks are closed because it's a Sunday. And over there are cafes. Christmas lights. Over there is a food bar selling seafood. Over there is an Indian restaurant, King Pizza and Indian food. And this is the other side of the market. And finally, we have seen the church that is the landmark of this town. This church building is called Igreja Matriz de São Clemente. This church building was formerly a mosque. Then after the Reconquista, the Portuguese rulers converted this building into a church. This church was destroyed during the earthquake of 1755. Over there we could see crosses. We're inside a museum, and this museum shows the town's past, and this is a remnant of its Arab past, and this is the remain, or these are the remains of a hammam, or a bathhouse. We're still in the town of Lolé, and over there is the hospital. We're on the fringes of the old town, or the fringes of the walls of the old town to be precise. And this gate was the gate to an old monastery or nunnery or whatever it is, called Convento da Graça. But now it's all in ruins, and it has transformed into something like this. Someone's house. Maybe, I don't know. We're now at Faro International Airport as we're flying back to the UK today. Back to England. And that's it for today. See you back in England. And please like, comment and subscribe to my channel.